Hi. You know, it's getting started. Still, like, I had a different configuration for everything here, but I don't now. So I'm just still getting used to a few things. Hello, everybody from Portland, Oregon, the mothership HQ of Indie Agency News. I'm Doug Zanger. First of all, to all of our members, thank you so much for supporting this mission. I should probably explain what this is. Indie Agency News, our brief, build the global home for independent agencies. Our mission is to serve independent agencies and the brilliant people behind them. Our goal is more visibility for indies and more choice for marketers. So are we a media platform? Yes. Are we, do we have services underneath that? Yes. So we're a little bit different. We're familiar in that, yeah, we do written stuff. We do a lot of live. We do a lot of video. And that's what we prioritize, live and video, so that people can see, hear, feel the thinking of our members, which I think is really important. And it can be the differentiation between an agency getting some business or an agency not getting some business. So we're always stoked to talk to our members about what they have cooking. And we're going to be talking to a couple of folks from Drake Cooper here in a minute, but we're going to take care of a little bit of business. As y'all know, our whole thing with awards, we have 4 of them per year. The packaging of it is top 40. We don't really have categories per se, but we have constructs. And what we do is we count down from 40 to 1, and we do 5 live streams. You don't know where you've landed if you land on a live stream. But we reveal it. We do a nice little interview. It's really, really fun. So our Agency and People Award is Weirdos, Misfits, and Underdogs. Damn right it is. So you have 2 places to go. You can go agencies or people and teams. So you could enter as your agency and be like, we're a bunch of weirdos, and here's why. You could nominate a person. You can enter a person, and that person's a misfit, and here's why. Or teams, could be a creative team, could be a strategy team, could be an executive team. We're underdogs, and here's why. The other thing too is when you're nominating people, you can tick a box that puts them in consideration for the Indie Hall of Fame. So we're going to start something new. We like building new traditions here. So you got that cooking, and then we've got Pet of the Year. So we've got people. And we've got, I guess some people would say, better than people. and dogs are better than people. Reworking the design of this page, by the way. So that's coming up. But Pet of the Year, this is going to be a public vote. So this is a little bit different than what we've done before. But get your good boys and girls in there. And yeah, I mean, you got your dogs, your cats. I live in Portland, so of course there might be chickens. And I have a long history with horses. So there you go. And if you are not yet a member, just go to indieagency.news. You can tap on this red button here, join Indie Agency News. It'll show you all of the memberships of the benefits of membership, the membership of benefits, including our very famous 15-minute member consulting sprints. We don't care where you get visibility as long as you get it. So if you have a client that wants to be an ad age, and they want to pitch ad age, send it over to us. We'll evaluate it for you. We'll help you work on making the pitch stronger. We won't pitch for you because we suck at that. But we're going to help you on the product. Same with awards entries. Same with anything as it relates to your visibility. We don't care. As long as you're getting visibility, we want to be able to help you on that. So again, indieagency.news. Let's take a look at this caught our fancy. So we do this thing called Indie Spin. We pay very close attention to what our members are doing. We don't want our members to do a ton of work. We want to do it for them. So we see interesting things that come from our members, and then we go, oh, would that be a good show? And so in today's case, we're going to talk about SEO going to AEO. Steve and Alicia joining us from Boise. How are you?
Do
Good.
it.
So what caught me on this was oh yeah, we talk about SEO all the time and it's incredibly important. But now we're getting into this, we're getting into AI. I've noticed that my behaviors on search have changed. Specifically going to ChatGPT. We use Claude quite a bit here. I'm not going to lie. There's two of us. So yeah, AI helps us a lot on organizing things and helping us, build this platform for everybody. And we got some other stuff coming out that, yeah, that's a little teaser. That's what we say in the business. It's a teaser. But this really caught my eye. And I want to start with this. 25% of traffic is shifting to AI by 2026. So that's happening fast. With that, what's the single biggest mindset shift indies need to make? And again, key in SEO is moving from keywords to what you call here, and we're going to link to this, what you call key concepts, because that's a really important distinction.
Yeah. So I think like kind of leveling up to the idea of a mindset shift in general. I think there's lots of tactics, right? There's lots of SEO tactics. There's SEO tactics that are still going to be relevant with AEO. I think as far as a mindset shift goes, it's really, to me, it's really about kind of being curious and exploring and thinking about how we've had like 30 years of ongoing SEO like learnings and changing what best practices are and development and testing, and we've got a pretty solid playbook, and of course, like just like anything else, SEO changes around a lot too, but
right,
we're kind of in a new era, and so I think like reapproaching it with a curious mindset, and starting to think about, like you mentioned, Doug, like changing the way that you, even from searching to putting something into an LLM, like what's different about that journey? What are you doing differently? How is the output different? And then sort of backing out from there and thinking about what you've got to work with, what you've got from like baseline SEO, which I will say is still really important too with LLMs. Like all of those, I would argue that a lot of, or most of the fundamental, like foundational SEO practices that Google's been telling us for years and years, like authoritativeness, the EAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness, citations and backlinks, well-structured content, all that stuff is still super important, right? Like, beyond that, what are the opportunities now with this sort of shift in the way people are using LLMs? Like, be curious about that and start exploring it.
Exactly. Elisia, first of all, how did you get into like being a martech expert? Like what was, before we get into it, like, how did you, was this like, I really want to do this, or is like, oh, I guess I'm in this?
I mean, truly, I've always just really loved the back end of things. Like,
really?
Yeah. So before I dove into martech, I did ad ops.
Oh my God. Oh, ad ops. You know what? That's God's work, right?
Oh my God. Yes. Love tracking things, just love the technology. And so the evolution of that was to do just martech, and really working closely with all of our teams to identify their pain points and match them with the right tech solutions.
Right.
And it just so happened that I moved into this role when AI was really coming onto the scene. So that became a no-brainer. So I'm going to own that.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, we're going to talk about Treefort a little bit later, but Boise's great. This team's great. But we are talking about some new territory. Let's talk a little bit, Elisia, this is for you, how Drake Cooper's starting to think about AEO a little bit differently. And what's the framework to help clients navigate the transition? Because ultimately, what it comes down to is that there is so much noise in it. And a client might say, the same way that a client would approach social, saying, my kids do this. But with AI, it's like, I heard this. And so what's the framework for helping clients navigate the transition so far?
I mean, honestly, with AI, it's evolving so rapidly. Like, it's so hard to keep up, and we're all in it together. Like, we're all discovering it together. And I think that's something very unique that we get to have as an indie agency, is that we have those really close relationships with our clients, that they trust us and they let us experiment. So we FAFO, like that's been a huge thing with just AI, with AEO. We get that flexibility to just go out there and try new things because our clients really trust us, because we can be really quick and nimble. We don't have the processes and hierarchies that larger agencies do that kind of prevent them from pivoting really quickly.
Right.
So we're thinking about AEO the same way. Like there's a lot of betas out there that we can sign up for those quickly. We can experiment with the content on the website.
What are some betas that you're signing up for? That's interesting.
We haven't signed up for anything yet, but there are some that are available. So for instance, Perplexity, they have sponsored follow-up questions. So they allow brands to suggest queries like follow-up queries.
Oh, wow.
Microsoft, they have something called Copilot Showroom Ads, and it's these interactive tiles, and
Right.
they actually kind of evolve and refine themselves as users are chatting with the LLM.
Right.
Google, of course, not to be left out.
Right.
AI overview ads, that is currently a beta. And so these are ads that are going to appear alongside AI generated summaries. Right now it's on desktop. These appear as either search ads or shopping ads.
Right.
But these are things that are out there.
Right. No, that's really, really interesting. Steve, Elisia had brought up, big agencies building these practices and these departments. But let's talk about indies. What are some impactful tactics that indies really can be thinking about or implementing without really any special tools? Again, it's overwhelming. The great news is at indies, we got a lot of really smart people, right? And the agility piece of it, to Alicia's point, is we can move a lot quicker. But if I'm an indie and it's like, I got to think about this, I really got to start moving on it. What can an indie first modes of impact? And you can have a list of 3 to 5 or however many you think are important. But what would you say those are?
Yeah. So I think first off is like baking it into whatever you call your SEO, digital marketing. Like for us, we call it findability. And it's this concept of like how brands are findable across their marketing stack. So from everything from strategy to like at media placements to UX, accessibility, website stuff, SEO, of course, is in there. And so like the first thing is just start talking about AEO in the context of findability or whatever you have at your agency as a framework. So I think if you've already got an SEO program in place, you probably have keywords, right? Like you've got your target keywords, you've done research. I think it's a quick and kind of easy transition is to start thinking about prompts, right? This is what in that article we talked about the concept of, keywords versus key concepts, and
Right.
Key concepts really originate from prompts, right? It's more of a long tail, like what are people asking, or how are people wording things, and what's the conversation look like between a user and an LLM that might involve your brand in some way. So you could start by developing prompts for that like sit alongside your keyword strategy. This is something that you could probably use an LLM to even help with the initial development, right? Like plug in the keywords that you have and say like, okay, for these keywords and these personas, what types of prompts would be would make sense? Would people be potentially typing in to search for the product or service or whatever that I have to offer? So start building out those prompts and then start working those prompts into your strategy, right? Like in a brief, include, you've got your persona, and maybe along with that persona, we always have like the standard things like the media that they look at, the maybe household income, whatever like metrics you're kind of considering, like what prompts would that person potentially type, right? And then from those prompts, you can start to build a picture of what a AEO journey might look like, and then start testing against that.
Right.
So the second thing I think would be start like doing some ad hoc testing and putting measurement tools in place. I like ad hoc testing. So one of the things with an important distinction with AEO versus SEO or analytics or whatever is with analytics, you have the ability to see what's actually happening with your users. You can watch what happens on the website. You can see their journey, track things. With AEO, it's a little bit more like sort of setting up what you think is going to happen and testing it against LLMs. You can't actually see what's happening in someone's search or chat, right? Like, So setting up those prompts, testing them periodically. You can do this manually. There are tools out there that are emerging, like Peak is a good one, PEC, where you can start plugging in your brands. It will test those prompts for you against LLMs and then give you visibility scores. It'll give you citation information, like where is the content coming from. It'll even give you sentiment scores. So another new paradigm with AEO is it's not just about blue links and like the users up to determine what they think about whatever website is. The LLM will actually tell you what it thinks, right? Or how it ranks a brand, or how brands compare in different ways. So it'll start to give you some of that sentiment as well.
Wow.
So those are the kind of the three things I think, like starting with prompts, and then start testing and putting tools in place. And then, like Elisia said, starting to opt into some of those betas and like whatever new tools or opportunities are out there, start testing them out.
Yep. Elisia, I want to go back over to you. So let's go back to clients here for a second. So one of the things that obviously Steve is talking about, and I can say from personal experience, this is very, very true. Patience really does matter, and understanding that I think one of the misperceptions about AI in particular is that people feel it is fully formed. And what I mean by that is that there's an expectation, and I mean this more generally than anything else. And this is, again, these are things that I've observed, is that the thinking is I'm one and done with whatever my prompt is, and it's giving me garbage, and then not really understanding that, no, you need to finesse it. So some of the things that we've been working on in our use case have taken 3-4 months to get to a point where, and we're still continually tweaking it. So on the client side of it, clients sometimes do not have patience. However, clients in this case that have patience, more likely than not, will benefit. So what is the conversation when you're talking about old metrics like rankings and traffic and how they don't necessarily tell the full story anymore? How are you showing clients that AEO can deliver that inherent and important value?
Again, I think it goes back to that mind shift. It was, we are so used to seeing like clicks, seeing traffic, and what Steve pointed out is like we can't see live searches in AI like we could with search. Like we could see the actual queries people were putting in there. Right now, the best we can do is run basically a simulation. And right now, clicks and traffic are not going to be the main KPIs for AEO. What we're looking at is going to be mentions and citations and that sentiment. And so a lot of the new tools, what they're going to do is you're going to get kind of a deeper understanding of your personas. If you have those personas, really understanding kind of the prompts that they're going to be asking, and you just have to run a bunch of them. And all of the platforms are different. There's so many now. So you could rank really, really well on Perplexity, but like totally terrible on Claude.
Right.
And like your competitors could be showing up really high for one query, but you could be showing up really strongly for another. So I think, yeah, going through those, either using a measurement tool to get those, find out what portion of mentions, it's all about that brand presence, finding out where you're showing up as a source, finding out what that sentiment is. A lot of these dashboards look really impressive. It actually feels very comfortable and familiar when you see them. Like you're going to see like your proportion of the mentions versus your competitors, who's ranking where on which platforms, and then you take it from there. Like you go in, you optimize, you see why are your competitors ranking better for certain searches. It's not like all of our key metrics are going away either, because if you well in AEO, you should be seeing that in the engagement on your website. So you should be seeing an increase in like the pages, the time spent on your pages, and conversions and lead forms being filled out. Like it all comes back to that.
Right. No, and I think that's an important, important thing to remind people is you're not abandoning the things that got you to this point. And there tends to be this sky is falling mentality when anything new comes in. there's this thing called television. What? The world's gonna end. I just like my radio. That's how old I am. Steve, I'm old. Steve, you mentioned zero click. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so zero click kind of predates AEO. Zero click is what we refer to anything on the search engine results page that is informational, like knowledge graph, little snippets, or sports scores, things like that, where people, like Google started implementing these things where you don't really need to go like find a website or choose from a list of websites if you're asking a pretty generic question about something.
Right.
And in a way, AI overviews and AI mode could be kind of considered zero click. There are clicks within them. There's citations, links, and it's debatable like how much people will actually click on things when they're in a AI context versus when they're in a list of blue links. But these are all essentially things that brands can think about as like ways to surface your content into a search experience that doesn't directly result in a visit to your website, right? And this is affecting some brands more than others, some industries more than others, right? There's some industries that are going to be more susceptible to like news, obviously, like getting, overviews and like quick results on the SERP that don't require a click. But yeah, that's just kind of something that we've been monitoring and kind of trying to manage and work around for a while now. And I think it sort of, in a way, it redefines the value of a website in general, right? Like,
right.
There are brands that are news outlets that are expecting their organic to drop significantly, like maybe zero. Right. Maybe a little hyperbole, but I think that it's something that we're going to have to deal with, and then kind of reframe, like, what is the purpose of a website? Right. And in my mind, it's all about like creating good user experiences, getting people there in other ways that aren't organic search, like making the website a part of your product experience or your customer journey, doing things like providing value on a platform that you own. And it's possible that the days of the website as a like free kind of marketing landing page for organic search are maybe not going to be as effective.
Right. This is great. So, like I said, we're gonna put this up so people can read it, and then people will be able to get to you, Steve. Elisia, you don't have to worry about it. Steve's gonna get all the inbound.
Yeah. Take that, Steve.
Let's talk about Treefort. Did you go this year?
I went and I got the flu like the first day, and so I missed.
We went and saw Remy Wolf. Amazing. Yeah. Elisia, did you go?
Oh, I did.
Who did you see that you liked?
Steve, did you play? Steve plays in Treefort.
We didn't.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hold on. Another layer of the onion here. Hold on. What, you look like a bass player.
Guitar.
Well, it is a guitar, but
it is a good type of guitar. Yeah. No, I play guitar in a punk band in Boise. We actually didn't play Treefort this year, thankfully, because I got the flu.
Oh my god! Elisia, did you go to the Remy Wolf show?
I did not.
Oh my god, so good. So I brought my daughter. My daughter's like, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo. By the way, Olivia Rodrigo, go see her. Her band, unreal, like a great show. But we went, and so I'm trying to expose her to some different music. And so I caught her like, bopping her head a little bit. So we went to one band, and Mindy Stomp, your CEO, is friends with the family of like some of the two of the boys in the band. And my daughter's going to give me so much shit about this. She's like looking at the guitar player going, he's cute. She's 13. And so I was just, it was nice to expose her to a different side of it. But I have to tell people, and I mean this wholeheartedly, that Treefort is amazing. We just had Pickathon here in Oregon, So these two festivals, if you're really looking for something that's like unique, different, and very, very real, Tree Fort happens in March, and then Pickathon happens here in August. So look at those two festivals. And the thing too about Boise is, number one, it's much easier to get to than it used to be. Number two, the city has changed a lot, and there's so much cool stuff going on in the city. And listen, Oregon and Idaho, they're both, we're a purple state, you're a red state, but they're these little bastions of creative sanity in the middle of them all. And Boise is certainly that. Plus, the best biscuit you will ever have in your life is at a restaurant called Percy. That is the best biscuit you will have in your life. And I will fight anybody that says otherwise.
Percy's delicious.
I know. Are you both native Idaho, or where are you both from?
I am. Yeah, I was born in Idaho Falls and moved to Boise to go to Boise State in 2004. So I've been here my whole life.
Yep. So there we go. Yeah, Remy was the best one. You're from Salt Lake?
Salt Lake.
So yeah, so you know what's up. Like Salt Lake's very similar to Boise. Yeah. Salt Lake's. So people don't know the trivia of why you probably know this, why the streets are so wide in Salt Lake City. Do you know that? You know this.
The wagons?
Yes, that's what it was. Yes. Yeah. All right, we're turning it into a game show. Steve, you're up.
Steve knew that too. I saw.
Yeah. Wasn't fast enough.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. Well, last word. Any parting thoughts?
I'll just say, again, coming back to the original question about what to do to kind of set yourself up for success, I think it's be curious, be a little vulnerable with your clients, have these conversations and say like we don't know, we're kind of, this is a new thing. And we have the skills to figure it out. We don't know all the answers yet, but we want to go after it, and we want to be a partner in it. And that's kind of how we're approaching it with our clients. We're just starting to test things and try things and develop strategies. Really early on, we started testing, building out our own kind of internal measurement tools and workflows and things like that. I mean, new measurement tools are coming online all the time. I think staying up on what those platforms are, how they work, what they prioritize, what other people are thinking. It's just a big learning phase.
Exactly.
I mean, we're kind of joking off stage, but I think you have to remember it's fun. This stuff is really cool. It is changing super rapidly, and that is exciting. We get to be in this space where we're experimenting with something new every day, and that is a lot of fun.
No, it really is. And I think fun is so important. Listen, we all want successful businesses. I mean, but let's have a little fun doing it. It's all an adventure. It's all an adventure. Like I said, we're going to get this post up. You'll be able to get in touch with Steve. I'm sure you'll be able to find Elisia as well. To my Northwest crew, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. I'm going to put you backstage for a second. So don't go away. This isn't a Zoom call. All right. Wave bye-bye to everybody as I put you backstage. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. Thanks.
All right, everybody. Seriously, go check out Boise. Seriously. Cool ass city. Really, really is. A reminder, go to indieagency.news. We got a couple of awards cooking right now, especially Weirdos, Misfits, and Underdogs. The Agency and People Award for the rest of us. On behalf of everybody at Indie Agency News, I'm Doug Zanger. See you next time.